From consistently holding the World Boxing Council title since 2019 to being ranked the world's best active lightweight, Devin Haney is currently the undisputed lightweight champion. And here's why fighters are scared of him. After all, Devin is the youngest world champion in boxing, and rightfully so. This man has fought and defeated some pretty big names. In 2019, he dominated Colasani Ndongini on his way to a 10-round unanimous decision win. Now remember, Colasani was a tough opponent and a popular choice, but Haney shocked everyone. Soon after, he also defeated Antonio Moran through a vicious 7th-round knockout, and this was his first match under the Matchroom banner. And before I forget, he won the WBC interim lightweight title by defeating Zaur Abdullayev 11-0. So yes, in October 2019, he finally did what no other fighter his age had ever done before. He became the youngest world champion in boxing. This was right after the last WBC lightweight champion, Vasily Lomachenko, got promoted to franchise champion by WBC.
I think it wasn't the best performance, but I know that if me and Loma was a fight, a better version would be on that night. But congratulations, and hopefully we can get it on.
Some people did say the title had been undervalued, but that doesn't change Devin's track record, which is perfect. So with a history like this, Devin definitely inspires fear in his opponents, and some say fighters are actually scared of fighting him because this man has a professional boxing record of 29 wins and 0 losses. Yep, you heard me right. Now, he won like 15 of these by knockout, and the other 14 through decisions. I guess the most high-profile one has to be his fight against George Kambosos Jr. He won the fight to retain his bucket load of titles. I'm talking about his World Boxing Association Super title, his World Boxing Council title, the International Boxing Federation title, plus the World Boxing Organization title, and not to mention the ring's lightweight titles. This wasn't the only time that Haney won against George though, because the pair had fought earlier in June 2022 at Marvel Stadium in Melbourne, and he defended all these titles then too. So it's no surprise that once again, Devin came out undefeated. But there are more big names on his list of opponents that he's defeated, like Joseph Diaz Jr. and Jorge Linares. But the most anticipated fight is yet to happen. Yep, everyone expects Haney to win the fight scheduled against Vasily Lomachenko in May this year. And believe me, that's some high praise, because Loma's been pound for pound great for the last decade. He's not only got a fantastic ability to pivot, but he also creates angles in the ring like no other rival. In fact, Loma's track record against Masayoshi Nakatani, Richard Comey, and Jermaine Ortiz, well, it's nothing but evidence that Loma is a top-notch fighter anyone would be afraid to oppose. Now, in this mix, a huge number of people are predicting and betting in Devin's favor. This list is long, and it includes Jorge Linares, who has fought against both of the contenders, and even Shakur Stevenson, who is a former world champion in 2 weight classes. See, Jorge said that Haney is exceptionally precise when it comes to his landing strikes, and he also moves pretty smoothly inside the ring. Talking in similar lines, Shakur had the same praise for the American. Devin's clearly got the size, the speed, and the youth all working out for him right now. Yep, looks like everyone thinks that the Dream is going to outbox Loma. Even the veteran promoter, Lou DiBella, thinks Haney is a force to be wary of. Spectators, fighters, and even fans who are betting, everyone is bidding on Devin. I'd say that's plenty of reason to be scared of the fighter. In fact, that's exactly why top lightweights in the red-hot division just don't agree to face him. At least, that's what Haney thinks. You see, the WBC lightweight champion was pretty upset over this.
We mean by timing, that short right hand that knocked out Carlos Morales, he was able to land that shot on Haney. Anytime you can land punches, it feels good. You gotta continue that momentum. But back comes Haney with that sharp left hand.
About how Ryan Garcia just wanted nothing to do with Haney. I mean, this was even after Devin had defeated Luke Campbell in a WBC lightweight title eliminator in January of 2021. Haney's actually pretty confused. You see, he claims that there's never been such a situation before where a fighter goes through so much trouble to compete in a title eliminator. And then, at the last moment, he just changes his mind about wanting the title shot. So it looks like Ryan thinks he's already way above things like world titles because he's so popular on social media. And that's why Ryan doesn't come out ahead by facing Haney and beating him, just to capture a devalued WBC lightweight title. But let's talk a little bit more about how Ryan's been avoiding Haney. I guess he's used up every excuse in the book to avoid this fight. You see, right after Ryan beat Campbell, he had the right to challenge Devin for the WBC belt, but instead, the fighter chose to take up Fortuna instead, and then Ryan ends up dropping out of the fight due to mental health issues. So it really makes you agree with Haney about fighters refusing to fight him because they're scared. It makes sense too if you look at Devin's own track record. In an interview, he said he's been trying really hard to fight the top guys, but everyone's avoiding him. He added that he was one of the first people to call for Loma, and that guy was practically a boogeyman, so pretty much no one wanted to fight him. But at this point in the interview, we got the biggest realization when Max Kellerman said to Haney that he was fighting anybody they'd put in front of him, and he was winning against all of them. So if Haney wasn't getting a shot, Max thought it wasn't really the fighter's fault. And this is when Haney told Max that he was different from the rest. He didn't become a fighter just for money and fame. No, he did this all so he could collect belts.
I am ready for those top guys. You know, I feel like Abdulaev is the next step to take me to where I want to be.
Sure, it wasn't like he wasn't making money, but Devin's main goal was belts. That kind of motivation is hard to beat, so it makes sense that other fighters are wary of this man. Right now, he's only 22 years old and already a world champion, so Devin's pretty convinced that these top guys will eventually have to fight him. In fact, he's certain because of this one thing he believes in. Apparently, history tells us that the guy who knows the art of boxing well always comes out on top. Haney explained what he meant by telling Max that the reason why these people would eventually have to fight him is because he was the best boxer out there. And that's the guy with the best defensive, the guy who knows how to hit and how not to get hit. Yep, that's the guy who eventually always comes out on top. So Devin wants all the belts. He wants the world to know who the undisputed king is. And he wants everyone in the world to know that he's the best fighter at 135 pounds. I guess all eyes are on Loma v. Haney now, because if there's anything that can show once and for all that Devin is the greatest, it's perhaps this fight and this fight alone. Because until then, with no other top guys willing to fight Devin, he's only going to stay stuck where he is. I'd say that's pretty unfair for a guy everyone is so terrified of, they won't even enter the ring with him. Anyways, these are all the reasons fighters are scared of Devin Haney.